Nintendo decided to cancel the Smash World Tour, the biggest Smash event of the year. Not just of the year, by the way, but of all time in terms of prize pool. $250,000 for Melee and $250,000 for Ultimate.
That's big. That's a lot.
$500,000 tournament. It's huge. And that was supposed to happen in 2 weeks.
That's not a lot. Dude, if you don't think that's a lot for a tournament, especially in the Smash community, this is like a niche group, all right? So you got to keep in mind, like, these people started out as like communities that would do circuits. Like, you don't make a lot of money playing in esports, especially in Smash. It's not something. So having a prize pool of that nature and that magnitude, that's a huge deal. You're kidding yourself if you say that it's not. I'm just saying, chat.
The same weekend as my chess boxing event, which is December 11th. It's not about that, but just remember that fact. Anyway, it was canceled. Why was it canceled? Well, we'll get into that. It's a little more nefarious than you would think, but first we need to talk about the people who organized the Smash World Tour, VG Bootcamp. Now, you might know them because you've seen some of their events, or because you've seen Gimmer, who is famously bald, or because you've seen a video about 10 people getting really upset about the ice climbers, which I uploaded.
I don't even know who that is. I'm just going to say, I don't even know who those people are.
VG Bootcamp, so thank
you
sure it's good, to them. I appreciate you guys paying a semester of my college tuition.
We see what you're doing, Ludwig. We see a little flex there. Okay, I'm just kidding.
But
I'm kidding.
They had a great idea. Now, the way Smash events usually work is it's a grassroots event. Someone in their college or their region wants to make an event. So they do, and people come to that event.
Yep.
And maybe it grows. And so year after year, it turns from a regional to a national to a worldwide phenomenon.
And that is what makes it so special and unique and just so much fun. Honestly, that's what makes Smash.
Normally how events go, but it's all disconnected. It's thankless jobs, and nobody really makes that much money out the end of it.
I know, but we're talking about like a niche. This is not a BR.
Bootcamp had an idea where we could run a connected circuit. A World Cup of sorts, where throughout the entire year, events will earn you points, and points will get you an invite to the final event, which is worth $250,000, and you can be the world champion of Melee or Ultimate. At least that's the idea on the surface. And it worked really well.
Sick.
It happened this entire past year. There was a ton of events that were part of it, including...
I mean, that is a sick way to get into a tournament, all right? A global. That is pretty dope. You can't deny it. Like, that is pretty sick.
An event I streamed on my channel, Phantom, and many, many others.
All right.
And it was supposed to happen again in 2 weeks. That was the idea before it got canceled. Not a bad idea. Now, coincidentally, the month after the Smash World Tour was announced, there was another Circuit World Tour that was also announced, the Panda Cup. Now, this was created by Panda Global, who you guys might know as an esports team that is mainly rooted in Smash and fighting games as a whole. These are some of their players. These are some of their fighting game players. These are some of their influencers. And they got someone for chess.
Okay.
And that's Panda. Panda is run by Dr. Allen. This is going to be important because he has done some things that I find to be a bit nefarious. Now, Allen...
Yeah, I heard through the grapevine. I just heard, all right, Twitter's such an interesting place for all this stuff. I heard it was like a debacle between him, like pretty much saying, hey guys, join my thing or else, you know, you might get shut down. I'll let Ludwig explain it, but I mean, I just heard, you know, through Twitter that
has
that
been
was
running
the case.
Panda and also wanted this utopian idea of a connected event, a circuit that would include everybody and would create a grand champion at the end. Now, I would argue it's not a bad thing.
That's
for
a good idea
to have 2 World Cups, World Tours, whatever you want to call them. It's just more Smash to watch, more Smash to enjoy. Now, this event, again, was announced a little bit after the Smash World Tour, but it hasn't been canceled. It has no plans to be canceled. Why? Well, their event is officially licensed by Nintendo. Now, on the surface, you might just think to yourself, well, okay, Nintendo licensed this one, but didn't license this.
So pretty much, I can already see where this is going. So pretty much, they got the official, because they're the first official license in North America. From a business standpoint, that eliminates all other competition. You're now a shark playing in a big pond, all right? Or you're a shark playing with goldfish now, because every other Smash tournament was built on the foundation without being licensed. It was just smallly organized by Joe Schmoes, you know, me and somebody else. That is the core foundation of what has cultivated the Smash community. So when you have something like Panda Cup come in with a official license. Now what they can do from a business standpoint is they can take advantage of that by going to all the core communities and saying, hey guys, join me, or else you might be at risk of, not being able to function anymore because you are not licensed. And then they can go to Nintendo and say, hey, there's all these other groups that are not licensed, which Nintendo should already know that because that is what's built up their core Smash community. But I highly doubt Nintendo will ever acknowledge or even talk about or make a statement about any of this. It's just not like them to do it.
This one, it's Nintendo back at it again. They just don't understand the community, and they decided to go with one event even though they should have gone with both. Now, it's not a shocker that Nintendo would cancel an event. It's happened many times in the past, usually to large public outcry, and sometimes overturns their decision. But this is not as simple as let's just tweet out #SaveSmash and pray that somebody at Nintendo catches up on this and then reverses the decision. There's, again, things that are a little seedier at play here. So this event was submitted, the Smash World Tour, April 9th for review to be licensed by Nintendo. Because the way that running tournaments work is that the people who created the IP, the publisher, the developer, they own the rights to broadcasting that game. So it's happened in the past where maybe people stream God of War a bit too early in Australia and they get banned. Well, they can do that. They own the IP. They decide who gets to broadcast that.
So pretty much Panda has the legal right to stream it and actually host their tournaments, and everyone else, they do not have that legal right to do it. So they're all screwed.
Same thing happens with tournaments. If they don't want you to run a tournament, they can say no. And the way it's worked for 20 years is that we have kind of just run tournaments and done our own thing and got no help from Nintendo. And Nintendo makes games and movies with Chris Pratt and does their own thing. And we don't mix. We don't mix. You don't approve our tournaments. You don't deny our tournaments. We just do our thing. You do your thing.
Which is good. That is also good. Why? Because it's beneficial for the developers, because it keeps people playing the game and it keeps people coming and cultivating their community and loving Nintendo for it, which in turn keeps people buying Nintendo stuff and supporting Nintendo in the long run, all right? And loving their games. Okay, so it's beneficial for developers. The only problem is you get into the semantics from a business standpoint when businesses come in and organizations like Panda, and now it makes the water all murky, which is unfortunate because Nintendo should just look at it as, okay, we see them, they're doing their thing. They're not doing any harm to us. They're not slandering our brand, our game. They're cultivating a community that likes, knows, and trusts us even more, of fans that like our brand even more, that buy from us even more. And even though they're not licensed, that's cool. That's cool. Good. They're playing our games. Good. Like, that's the way it should be.
But recently, Nintendo has been getting into the habit of approving events, licensing events, like the Panda Cup. Apparently, what was happening is Alan, the CEO and co-founder of Panda, was going around to different tournaments that were meant to be a part of the circuit, different regional organizers, and saying, hey, just so you guys know, you guys are organizing an event and it's supposed to be part of the Smash World Tour.
He's bullying them.
I would not personally do that because that event is going to get shut down and they're not going to come back in 2022 at all, which is kind of a weird thing to do. How would Alan have this information?
What a slimy way
of VG Bootcamp were literally talking to Nintendo execs directly, and those Nintendo directs or execs reminded them that Nintendo is not shutting down anything unless it infringes on IP with game mods, and that the Panda CEO does not represent Nintendo, and that Panda's license is not exclusive, so we can have multiple circuits at once. And that Nintendo's goal is not to gatekeep or trap the community, and that the license guidelines would be accessible and clear. They seem to be very, very forthcoming, in almost in a shocking move, easy to work with. What a phrase, Nintendo, easy to work with. It was a surprise.
Speed it up, okay.
But it was a huge confidence boost, so they decided to go ahead with their event, even though Alan was doing these kind of weird things. Now, the way it was meant to work is that, again, you would pull from these grassroots events, and those would grant points to people who went to them, and the more points you get, the higher chance you have of getting invited to the final event at the end of the year. That's how both circuits work. Now, the Smash World Tour said, hey, any event can be considered a Smash World Tour circuit event. And so Alan, the CEO, was going around to event organizers and guaranteeing them that the Smash World Tour one is going to fail, and that it would be a mistake not to go with the people licensed by Nintendo. some implications there that if they weren't to go,
Scare tactics. Scare tactics. I mean, unfortunately, in business, this is seen so often where you're using manipulation and scare tactics so that people get on your side, they join you. Like, it's shameless to see this in the gaming community.
with Panda, that maybe their event would even get shut down. Now, this didn't end up working because many events declined Panda because there's really a lot of community and trust that's built over decades. So people stayed with VG Bootcamp. So
Yep.
Panda had no choice but to double dip and change their rules. And they'd say, you know what? If it's part of the Smash World Tour, it can also be a part of ours. Okay. Now, this all on the surface seems pretty fine. Okay. Maybe a little bit dog of Alan to go behind people's back like this. But here's where it gets, in my opinion, fucking terrible. Now, one of the largest streamers of Smash events is Beyond the Summit. These guys stream Smash Summit. They stream dozens and dozens of other tournaments.
Yep.
And Panda saw that they had rights to stream those events. The CEO of Panda also wanted broadcasting rights as a part of the deal for events on the Panda Cup. So basically, not only would the event be on the Panda Cup, we also want to be able to broadcast it in some fashion. Beyond the Summit owns the broadcasting rights because they give the ad revenue
Makes
back. They have a
sense.
deal with the people who they work with. They
That
end up
makes
giving them
complete
a better
sense,
cut
yeah.
than if you were to stream it by yourself, as well as getting more viewership. And Beyond the Summit was like, well, hey, we're not going to give you the broadcast rights for free. So, no, we're not just going to give you that. The CEO of Panda escalated things
He probably got
and made a
pissed.
variety of threats to Beyond the Summit, including threatening to shut down their entire Smash operation in 2023 if they did not join the Panda Cup.
Jesus. So the man is literally threatening them because these people, their organizations that are already successful and have the rights are not joining their Panda Cup because they were the first exclusive one to be able to run a tournament. That is insane.
Beyond the Summit held firm. They said, fuck that shit. The CEO of Panda warned them that they would get Nintendo involved. My dad works at Nintendo, says Alan. He will seriously...
Yeah, no kidding. It just sounds like, hey, I'm going to go tell my dad. I'm going to tell my dad that you don't want to be best friends with me. You have to be my best friend. You have to let me play with your toy. You have to let me play with your toy, or else, I'm going to tell my dad.
mess your shit up. If you don't work with us, you have to be my friend.
Blackmail.
Beyond the Summit holds strong. Now, I have full confidence that the words of Beyond the Summit are true because I've worked with this team to make projects like Mogul Money or even Juiced. And just today, one of the co-founders of BTS tweeted out, Alan spent several months running a protection racket telling TOs, including Beyond the Summit, it'd be a shame if your event got shut down for being unlicensed.
Jesus.
In an effort to
That
scare
is
them
just
into signing on to the cup.
disgusting.
Not just
I don't
signing on
know.
to the cup, but signing on exclusively and also giving broadcast rights.
I mean, in what state, in what universe do you think, in your mind, that it would be okay to grow your brand Panda, all right, as the CEO? As the CEO, you're the face of the brand. At what right do you think ethically it's going to be okay and morally to go out there in the community you're trying to grow, all right, and collaborate with, okay, now that you got this Nintendo exclusive licensing agreement, at what point do you think it's okay to go out there and use that to berate and tarnish the community that has built up Smash and manipulate it so it's like, hey, you have to join us because we have the exclusive licensing agreement, or else we're going to get Nintendo involved because we're the only ones with it and we have it. So we're going to get them involved. You either join us or we're going to tell them. We're going to tell on you. It's like,
Now, this was basically all shoved out of the way.
That's
and quieted,
disgusting.
And people were like, Alan, you're being nuts. Stop threatening that. None of this is actually going to happen. We care about our community, not just about making your event better. And that all seemed fine and dandy.
it's Smash.
Until,
It
of
doesn't
course,
matter.
They decided the night before Thanksgiving to cancel the Smash World Tour.
Nintendo
And the
sucks 'cause of
cancellation
this?
to me
That's not
is
the
crazy
case.
because
This
there
is
was radio silence
a,
between Nintendo and VG Bootcamp for months.
This doesn't have to do with like this is Nintendo's fault. This is a problem in the system of somebody using their power to get gain from it, and it tarnishes their brand. Like Panda's brand now is in jeopardy for just looking bad. Like they look really bad. I'd be interested to see like a statement from the CEO himself. Like how is he going to rebuttal like from this? Like how is he going to come back from this and gain trust within the Smash community after bullying them all? It's to me, it's a brain dead way to go about going in a niche group. This is not like BR. This is not like first person shooter, battle royale gaming, Call of Duty, where the niche is huge, right? For a first person shooter. This is like This is fighter. This is third-person fight. Not even like third-person. What would you call it? I don't know. It's Smash, right? It's a niche group, okay? So you're going within a niche group, and you're destroying that community by threatening them, pretty much blackmailing them.
Until they finally hit them up and said, hey,
it's not smart.
This is the end.
Like, from a business standpoint, that makes no sense to do.
As a last-ditch effort, I'm just going to read this here.
People.
They asked if they could continue to run the championship and the tour next year without a license and shift the focus to doing a professional thing in 2024. Because in the past, for the past 20 years, the way it's worked is, again, Nintendo stays in their own lane, we stay in our own lane. You don't approve events, you don't deny events, but we are able to coexist. And the person at Nintendo directly told them those times are over. There is no longer a way to run Smash events unless they are licensed by Nintendo directly. We are not talking about an event this time that has mods being used, like what happened with the Big House about a year ago. We are not talking about an event that has anything nefarious attached to it. We are just talking about a plain old Smash event that got canceled, in part it seems, because someone at Panda, a.k.a. Alan, was strong-arming a connection he had Nintendo to shut down any event that was not his own. It's almost like a video game villain who wants to tear down the world so he can rebuild it for his own because he sees this utopia where we have this beautiful circuit, the Panda Cup, the final one.
Which is good. To have one thing, like everything under one big circuit, that is okay. I'm actually for that idea, all right? And I'm not part of the Smash community, but I think it's a good idea to have everything under like one umbrella. I'd be for that. The problem is how we went about trying to go and do that was the wrong thing to do. Like, you're burning your bridges doing that. Like, in what way did he conjure up this idea in his head that if he just went up to all these small Smash communities that built up what Smash is today, all right? And keep in mind, Smash is a niche group, all right? It's a niche gaming cultural group. It's not a big group. So in what way did he think it would be okay to go to these groups and threaten them if they didn't join his thing because he's got a exclusive licensing agreement? Then he would go tell Nintendo, like,
true say where everyone will go to compete.
Man took a Viagra pill, he grew his pee-pee big for the first time, and then he went to go try and big dick everyone.
Is by shutting down everybody else along the way, which to me is insane. Now, Alan has not yet replied and spoken out about this. He's receiving a lot of trash on Twitter. Look, I always say this, but don't feel a need to join in on that. You can wait to see what Alan says first, all right, after we saw the Doom situation. It's never good to jump the gun on attacking people online.
True.